If you're watching this, then Logic World Update 0.92 is out and ready for you to enjoy. Myself and the rest of the development team have worked very hard on this update. To commemorate it, we joined a multiplayer server together and we played the game as we read through the list of changes in this update. We went into a lot of technical detail and we shared a bunch of behind-the-scenes info on the development of the game. Even though we skipped over half the changes, this ended up being a very long video. We had lots to talk about. Feel free to skip around if we're yapping about something uninteresting, because it probably gets interesting again later. Without further ado, here's me from the past. Hope you enjoy. Hello, I'm Jimmy.
Hi, I'm Marku.
Hey, I'm Gix.
And I'm Econia.
And hi, I am Felipe.
And we are the team that makes Logic World, minus two who couldn't be here today, but they say hello. So, the Subassemblies update is coming out today as you're viewing it, but tomorrow for us, because we're recording this the day before the update comes out. And this is a big update that we're very excited about and very happy to finally be getting out. And so, to commemorate the release of 0.92, we're going to do this little play session with the development team. So the way this is going to work is we're all here playing Logic World together, and we're going to read through the list of changes in this update, and we're going to talk about them and give our commentary on different things we changed in Logic World for this update. We've never done anything like this before, so hopefully it's good. Sorry if it's bad. Leave a comment below if you think the video sucks. Anything else?
Also, if you like it.
Oh yeah, definitely leave a comment if you like the video too. Yeah, does anybody have anything else to add before we start reading the changelog?
Do we start bottom or top?
I think we'll start from the top.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, let's.
I just like the confusion.
And for those of you viewing at home, if you want to follow along, there will be a link in the video description to a blog post, which will have the full changelog. You can also go into the in-game menu here, and there's a changelog tab. It looks like it's broken right now and not working properly, so I'll fix that before the update comes out. Yeah, the changelog menu broke somehow. I don't know why.
What? No.
I know.
It says meta.check for me. With a Bobby face.
I know. I have the same error. I can't believe that broke of all things.
If you close it and open it, you get the Subassembly section at least. Oh, it's an outdated one.
Broken game.
Great.
All right. Anyways, first thing on our changelog is we added subassemblies, which are groups of components and wires that you can reuse across different worlds and servers. So the way that works is if you've built something that you like this thing or this thing, you can right-click on it and do the Save Subassembly action here. Use the keyboard shortcut Control-K. You can give it a name and a description, and then hit Save. And then that's added to your hotbar, and you can place it down anywhere else in the world, as easy as that. And it works across your different worlds and across different multiplayer servers, and they're stored in this tab here. It's over here. So those are subassemblies. This was a much needed feature. I mean, I can't believe it took us so long to add them. By far the most requested feature for Logic World. And I'm very happy it's finally in the game.
Jimmy, how big is your hand that you can press Control-K?
That's
just wondering.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I can just barely reach it on my keyboard with my index finger. If I do pinky and thumb, man, I wish I had a hand cam for this video. Pinky and thumb is pretty easy.
I can do that, but I normally just remap it to Control-S.
Oh, Control S is a pretty good shortcut. Except that S is a movement key.
No, I used it for sprinting. Please don't.
Okay, you know what? Most people are probably just gonna right-click and move their mouse a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's actually way better.
But like all controls in Logic World, that one you can change it to whatever you want. So if you want to save subassembly using some other combination of keys,
You
You-
can.
yeah, I just rebound it to the J key to demonstrate. So now when I press J on this thing, it brings up the menu. Cool. So then we also, I'm just reading through the changelog, we also have a menu for editing the details of your subassembly. So if you're in the subassemblies tab and you right click on the thing, or you press these three buttons, or if you press space while hovering over it, nobody knows about that one. Wait, is it? Then brings up this menu. You can see a big image of it. You can change the title.
A good stroke. You stroke me.
Are you stroking each other? What are you talking about?
Strobe.
Oh, okay, that's better.
No, not the other.
Yeah. Anyway, so this menu lets you edit the properties of the subassembly. You can also change its column and category, which helps you organize things. So if I change it to Hello World, then we can see it's now in its own column over here. And we added a button for uploading your subassembly online. So I can press this button right here, and I can upload it. And it opens a web page.
I can't press it. It's on your system.
Yeah, and then
You can finally brag about your sub-assemblies very easily.
Yes.
I'm upload grived.
So this is pretty awesome. You can just share your stuff online. Felipe, you did almost all the work for this feature. Do you have anything to say about it?
Not much, other than I hope that you upload everything you build, like literally everything. I don't care if it's good or bad, just upload it. I want to see it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to see it too. So many people have been uploading sub-assemblies already, even though the update isn't out. Just the people helping us test it, and I've loved seeing them all. It's fantastic.
I was bad boy. I uploaded without an image, but there's 3D preview.
Oh my god, yes. I love the 3D previews. Let's look at those some more, and let's actually demonstrate the subassembly downloading. So, oh, Akoni, I see you uploaded another subassembly 37 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Well, we can check that out. I can hit this open in game button, and it opens it in the game, and I can just download it. And then I can place your subassembly just like that. Neat.
Now you grief the server.
Yeah, you know what? That feature's so cool. I want to do it again. So the most recent subassembly uploaded by a non-developer is Small House with Hidden Wires by Sausage Patty. So I can open that and download it. And now we can have a little house. Isn't that a nice little house?
Neat.
That's so nice.
It has a television, or is that radio?
We can all hang out.
I think the description says it's a... Yeah, let's all cram into the house together. Party at my place, guys.
Uh-oh. Okay.
It's all uncrouch.
I just set my play escape. Yeah.
Ah!
You had been wiggling around. Marku, are you
Oh.
fine?
I'm okay, I think.
You can just type, I think, layers.
I can confirm there's hidden wires in the walls.
That in console, and then wait, there's amazing. Indeed. I love double wall, especially in Logic World. That's cool for houses.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen somebody do hidden wiring inside of a wall before.
I'm jiggling.
Oh my god. It's really cool. So yeah, shout out to Sausage Party for uploading this cool subassembly. And let me place it down a few more times just because I like the idea of stacked houses.
Epic. Can we stack it sideways. No, it's not tall enough for the footprint. That's sad. Oh no, the furniture must fall out. I don't know. Can I stitch that?
I'm painting our houses, guys. Just wanted to add some personality.
Oh. I broke it.
Cool. All right. Moving along in the changelog, subassembly thumbnails are cached on disk. You can edit these files to make custom thumbnails if you want to. So the thumbnails are just these things that appear in the hotbar when you have a subassembly on it. And yeah, you can just edit those image files to give it a custom thumbnail if you want to. I don't think I've seen anybody do this yet, but it's a feature in the game, and we mentioned it in the changelog, so I just read it. Next changelog entry, via manual editing of a subassembly's meta.jx file, you can add custom search tags to a subassembly. So that means you can type a search over here, and that just like filters your list to things you're searching for. And if you manually edit the meta.jx file for a subassembly, then you can give it a custom tag. So you can say hello world is your custom search tag, and if you added that, it would come up there. But yep, we added some commands to related to subassemblies for like saving your current selection and adding to hotbar. Those were mostly added before we had the user interface for saving subassemblies. We had to use the commands to test the feature, but yeah. Oh, I opened my console to mention commands, and I see we have a whole bunch of null reference exceptions. Somebody ought to investigate that. Anyways.
I have index was outside the bounds of the array.
Yeah, that's for the changelog issue not displaying correctly. I'm seeing other errors for some reason. Whatever. Now is not the time to be debugging. Recording
just
a video.
Copy them for reference, or don't delete the log. That
yeah. I'll check the logs later. Anyways, next section of the changelog is building. So first item, we added a fixed perspective feature. So by pressing a key binding, which by default is double tapping the left Alt key, you can unlock the mouse and just move your cursor freely and interact with the game this way. So I can move that there. I can place down components and draw wires between them.
He arrived me.
Yeah. So I think this is really nice for Logic World. Like there are so many times when you're just placing tons of wires in a small space. Like here, for example, where just moving your camera slight distances around kind of sucks, but being able to just, connect wires without moving the camera just makes that so much nicer. And this feature was requested by a friend of mine who gets motion sick from the regular camera movements, so she wanted a way to keep the camera still while playing, and it was a really good suggestion. I like how it works.
But don't get used to the feature, because you're basically it's like normal building mode, but your cursor's unlocked. I kind of want to rename it to Unlock Mouse or something similar.
That's true. We've been discussing changing the name of the feature, but for now it's called Fixed Perspective. So double tap left Alt to use Fixed Perspective, and yeah.
Double Alt actually works nice. We had quite the iteration of key bindings to find that one.
Oh, that's true. The initial one that I showed off was hold Control and press left Shift, and that was just like really quite awkward. And then we discussed changing it to like Alt F or like a function key. I tried it on just the left Alt, but then it did issues when you used a system shortcut like Alt Tab to switch windows. So double tap left Alt I think is pretty good. But we'll keep collecting feedback from people, and maybe we'll change the default key binding again.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully
Clicks, I
not.
can't fit this inverter anywhere. Oh no. Gigs, are you good at compression? I need help.
I can shield my sub-assemblies to you.
Oh no. Okay, then no. Okay, go away.
That's a nice display you have. What if you use mine?
No thanks. The component count is too high.
Don't forget to upvote it on the website.
Everybody
Can
go
upload
vote
mine
for.
once it's done. Oh, can we vote?
Sorry, is that an illegal delay that I see here?
I don't know what you
I'm
mean.
not support such hackery.
I don't know what you mean.
All right, next item on the changelog. When you've confirmed a placement, it will now immediately become solid. Previously, you need to wait for the server to process the placement, which could take a while when there are a lot of changes. Just to explain what that means a little bit, when you place an object, it doesn't actually get placed until the server says, yes, you can place that. And sometimes the server takes a while to confirm that if you're placing something huge with like tons and tons and tons of components on it. And previously, while you were waiting for the server to approve your build, the thing would be non-solid and you could just walk right through it, which felt weird. So this change just makes things feel a little smoother when the server is struggling to process your builds.
And the bigger issue was probably that while the server was stalled, you could just hack stuff into each other because there was no collision checking.
That's true. That's true. You could build things inside of other things while they had no collision, which I didn't like at all.
Would have looked something like this.
Yes, it would have looked something like that. How are you hacking, Akonia? How are you putting things inside of other things?
Modding.
Illegal.
True. It is.
Okay. Next are a bunch of performance improvements. We significantly improved the performance of resizing operations for components with many children. We significantly improved the performance of grab and clone operations for large objects. And we improved
You're welcome.
Yes, these were all your changes, Akonia. Good work. And we improved performance while selecting a large number of components. Performance is like really important for Logic World. I mean, like the whole point of the game is to like build amazing, huge creations, and so like we want to empower the people who play the game to build super big and not be hamstrung by lag. So I'm happy about all those performance improvements that I just mentioned. Next item, the place wire input action is now marked tap to toggle by default, so you can either click and drag to place wires like before, or you can click on one peg to select it, and then click on a second peg to place a wire between them. So just to demonstrate, if I'm connecting these two wires, I can press my mouse button and then move my cursor onto the next one and then release the button to release it. And that's how we did it before. But and that still works, but now you can also just like left click once to select the peg and then left click a second time to place a wire between them. So both of those are available. Some people prefer one over the other, and some situations just work better with one over the other. So I think that's a nice usability improvement.
Indeed.
Thanks, Marku. Oh, speaking of Marku, so on my game, music just started playing. Time and Science by Marku Wainman.
Hey.
Yeah, it sounds pretty great. Anything you want to say about that piece to the fans?
Time and science. Well, my sister had just started a PhD at the time, and she spoke with quite a bit of wonder about science, and I was doing lots of reading and trying to understand her thesis, which I'm getting better at understanding now. But she spoke with kind of a reverence and a wonder about science that I tried to capture in the piece of music. So I hope that it makes you think as well. Trying to be pensive and deep and all those things that musicians try to do. So I do hope that you enjoy it when it comes on.
Wow. I didn't know that story. That's lovely.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if she does either. I should probably tell her.
What's, I'm just curious. What did your sister do a thesis on?
Oh, now I actually have to know it. You're putting me on the spot. It was about cardiac rehab for patients with spinal cord injury.
Nice.
I didn't just read that off a script, I promise. That's just off the cuff.
No, we really did not prepare for this video at all. I'm worried it's gonna be a nightmare to watch, but
Oh, come on, we totally did. Look at all this cool stuff in the background.
that's true. We did spend
It's
30
blinking by
minutes
itself,
building
come
stuff.
Yeah.
Subassembling it in.
Yeah, that feature saved us. Saved video.
Shout out to Subassemblies.
I don't want to build this display anymore.
Oh, you can use mine.
All right. Next item on the changelog, pressing the delete key while drawing a board will now cancel that action. So by default, you press R to delete stuff. And I noticed that, like, myself, while I was playing the game, I just, like, associated that hitting that key with, like, get rid of what's happening. So now when you're in this state, when you're drawing a board and you hit the R key, that'll delete it now. That's new. And that's just an example of you know, trying to make the game respond the way that players intuitively expect the game to respond. You know, I think the ideal, like, user interface or building mechanics or whatever just work without you thinking about them. Like, you want to do a thing, and so you have an instinctive action that you do to try to do the thing, and then it just works because the game was. It should feel like the game is reading your mind, really.
Yeah, still got some work on that front.
Yeah, we're far from perfect, but, you know, it's one step at a time as we get there. Felipe, what are you working on over here?
I'm trying to build like one of those games that are like you click on a square and the ones around it like invert, right? And you have to like turn them all on or off at the same time.
Lights out.
Cool.
Or lights
Indeed.
on.
Well,
Let's lights up.
let's see if you can finish it before the end of the video.
Yeah.
Next items on the changelog. The failed action sound now plays when you fail to place an item from the hotbar. So if I try to place this inverter inside this board, for example, you can hear that failed action sound playing. Just an additional bit of audio feedback there. The delete item sound now plays when clone deletes a wire. So an example of that is that if I clone these objects, then I place them here, that will delete a wire, which you can tell because the wire is red, and now we'll hear a delete sound when that happens. Placing wire ghosts is smoother now visually, especially when there's server lag. I don't remember the details behind that one. Does anybody else remember what that item means?
Wait, what was it?
Placing wire ghosts is now smoother visually, especially when there is server lag.
That is probably something with outlines or with in-between frame switching flickering.
That sounds right.
You did that.
Oh yeah, I definitely did do that. Well, we can see placing wires is pretty smooth, even though I have a high ping to this server since it's on another continent. So that's cool. The help menu will now inform you that you can hold control for free rotation when grabbing or cloning on a smooth surface. So the help menu, which you can bring up with F6 and which is on by default when you start the game, shows you all the actions you can do at a time. And if what's new is that if you are moving something on a flat surface like this grass, it shows at the bottom, you can hold control to do this. So now I'm not holding control, and now I'm holding control, and you can see that lets me rotate it freely. So we added that feature in a previous update, but most people didn't know about it because it was hard to discover. And I think the feature is pretty cool, just being able to rotate something however you want. And so hopefully that helps people discover it.
I have been using it a lot and this week actually
Oh yeah,
for testing, moving stuff around. It's very nice.
sweet. Fixed visual. Oh, now we're on to the bug fixes part. Maybe we breeze through this. I don't know how exciting bug fixes are, but we fixed visual flickers when toggling board flatness during drawing. So this is what that looks like. There's no flickers now. It just toggles between flat and standing. Fixed resizing or rotating a board never working when a very large number of components are placed on it. Oh, Iconia, was it you who did that?
Fixed resizing or rotating board never work. Yeah, that was fun. I forgot the details though. I remember the test board that I had for that.
Yeah, it was. I wish I remembered what the fix was because it was really interesting. It was something with colliders and like always registering a false positive for intersections.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
I believe it was with through pegs or something, which are on both sides. Or I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you can now resize components of any resize boards with tons and tons of stuff on their children, and there will not be an issue anymore. Fix an exception when you finish a resizing operation when another player moved that component while you are resizing it. Man, making games is complicated, and making multiplayer games is even more complicated. There's like so many interactions between players that you have to keep track of, and this is just an example of one of those things where if I start
we had so many of these crashes.
I know. Honestly,
there's probably still some left.
probably. I mostly test the game in single player when I'm working on it, and honestly, I was terrified that when we started recording this multiplayer video that it would just be full of multiplayer bugs that I'd never seen. But thankfully, it seems to be working pretty well so far.
Yeah, I play a lot on the multiplayer servers. I know most of the bugs, and we're good. We're good.
Excellent.
No problem.
Okay, next, we fixed a crash to error screen when resizing a component where a wire is attached at both ends to that component. Yes, so that's specifically with panel displays. Is it the only vanilla component that can cause this, where if you have multiple pegs on your panel display, then you can do a wire in between them. And previously, if you tried to resize this component, it would crash, but now you can resize it just fine, and it just works, and it doesn't break. Hooray.
The enthusiasm.
Yep. We fixed not being able to undo placing or deleting a wire after deleting an object attached to the wire. I don't remember specifically what that was, but some issue with the undo redo feature. So I can go undo with Control Z and redo with Control Shift Z. And we had some weird interactions with that, which we fixed. So undo and redo should be more reliable now.
That's quite a while ago that we did that.
I know
we had a bunch of problems with the history system, which we did fix, but it was like 3 bigger problems.
Yeah, man. We didn't talk about this at the start. Maybe we should have, but we've been working on this update for a while. This update represents like a year and a half of work. So some of these items are from a long time ago. Marku, another music track just started playing for me. This one is Balance at Last. Anything to say about that piece?
That's one I can't remember writing as vividly, but I think that at the time we had both been talking about some really energetic music, and I think I needed to dial it back a little bit and have some contrast and have one that was a little bit more chill.
This is a
So
chill
that's-
piece.
Yeah, I think it suits the game well. I'm glad you like it.
Absolutely.
It's cool watching Felipe work away here.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff going on.
Man, this sometimes when I'm playing Logic World, I just think to myself, This video game is so cool. And looking at this thing, the Felipe's building, I just got that feeling. It feels good.
It's cool, isn't it?
It's so cool, man. I love the
Yeah.
we can just do stuff like this. Okay, back to the changelog. We fixed a placing issue with standing displays that have 4 pegs where they would act like 2x1 components instead of 2x2. So if
Sounds
you're
like a rotating problem.
if you're curious, so this is a standing display with 4 pegs, and previously, if I say wanted to move it onto the edge here, I could only like grab it from this corner, whereas now I can properly grab it from the opposite corner as well. Just a small configuration file error, but there's a lot of details to get right in this game, and that's one of them.
Fun.
We fixed game-killing Stack Overflow errors when building with deeply nested component trees. Yeah, this was another fix from a while ago, but we were previously using recursion to process component trees. So if you have like a component on top of a component on top of a component, then like we'd use a recursive function to like process that this one moved, so we need to move this one, so we need to move this one. And it turns out that can Stack Overflow if you nest deeply enough. So now we use a stack-based function for all those.
The problem was like you could make one of these staircases to heaven, and then you couldn't grab it anymore. If you tried to grab it, it would crash your game.
Right.
Actually, I still saw some code which still uses recursion.
Oh, did we miss something?
Yeah, I believe so. Sadly.
Well, shoot. I guess we'll fix it later. Sounds good. All right, and the final bullet point from the building section of the changelog is we fixed the edit display menu closing instantly if you're editing multiple displays and you change their peg counts. So say I'm editing these 2 displays at the same time and I change their peg counts, I can now just like do that normally. Previously, as soon as I drag this slider, the menu would instantly close. Okay. That was fun. Marku, how are you doing on time? I know you have to go at some point, and I want to make sure we talk about the music before you go.
Let's talk about the music then.
Awesome. Okay, I'll skip ahead to that section. So we made some changes to music in this update, and Marku, our composer who wrote all the music, does not know about them yet. So we're about to get Marku's live reaction to the music changes in update 0.92. Okay, first, the in-game music is now less repetitive, and a given track will now never play if it was in the previous 5 played tracks.
That's a good idea.
This number can be configured with the new secret setting, min song history distance.
That is awesome.
Next, music files are now distributed as OGG Vorbis instead of MP3, meaning smaller files with better quality.
Wow. I'd like to see how you did that. That's pretty cool.
I opened Audacity and I hit export and
Oh, the audacity to change my music. Unbelievable. Q-based.
Yeah, I will say if you want the music files in the highest quality, if you want the original lossless files, then you should go to Marku Wainman's Bandcamp and you should give him a few bucks for a DRM free copy of the music in super high quality.
And thank you to those who bought the soundtrack on Steam. That was really cool. Very, very cool.
Oh yeah, you can also buy the soundtrack on Steam, but Marku gets more money if you buy it on Bandcamp.
There's sweet, sweet dollars in my pocket.
Okay, next, the music player will now ignore non-music files inside music folders instead of trying to play them.
Hmm.
That sounded like a horrible recipe when that was not the case.
I think it would just give an error in the logs, but it was a little silly if there was a like a txt file in that folder for some reason. Okay,
That is funny.
and our final change to the music for this update, and the final live Marku reaction to a music change. New music won't start playing anymore if the pause menu is open.
Ooh, that's a nice change.
This concludes the live Marku reaction. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Yeah, that's a good idea because if you hit pause, you probably, pause everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was happening to me when I was testing the game. Is I would like have to go do something, and so I'd like just hit escape, and then I'd go away, and then I'd come back, and music was playing, and that felt weird to me because like music wasn't playing when I left, and I paused it, and it's like it feels like the game's doing stuff without me there. So
Yeah, that is deeply unsettling. Yeah. It's got a mind of its own. No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And it will be good when we have some new music in the game as well. That will help spruce things up a little bit and diversify the music a little bit to be more engaging and to bring some new experiences to the game. So that'll be good too.
oh, are you ready to talk about that publicly?
Yes. Well, I have about 4 tracks done. So 15 to 20 minutes of music is almost done, and going to be about a total of 45 coming soon. And so that's been going really, really well, and it's been really, really fun as well. And also being here and hanging out with everybody and looking around at this awesome game has definitely given me some new ideas. So I can't wait to get writing and to add more music to the game. So yeah, this is so cool. I forgot how much I enjoy being here chilling in this world.
Well,
And thank you to everybody for being so kind to me today with my newbiness, because that's what you need is friends to make fun of you a little bit, which is good to keep you humble, but also to be supportive. So that's good. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. New music is coming to Logic World sometime when it's done.
Yeah, sometime. Yeah.
I've heard some of it, and it sounds fantastic. Marku does amazing work. So yeah, get hyped for that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, this was really, really great, and I'm probably gonna go write some more music before I do some homework and go to bed. So how about I go do that?
Okay, thanks for joining us, Marku. Take care.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Man, it's eerie when the players just disappear when they disconnect instantly. We should add a visual effect for that so it doesn't look like they just stop existing.
Yeah.
A black hole thingy with sound.
A scary man comes up behind them and stabs them and they die.
Halloween update.
Halloween update.
Halloween.
All right.
Back to components.
Yeah, Iconia, would you like to take over and read this section?
I could.
All right, I've been talking for a while. I could use a break.
Yeah, drink some water if you haven't.
Oh, thank you. I will.
The component updates. We updated the default display configurations. In order to see the new defaults, you have to start a new sandbox and delete the default extra data folder, mouse game display configuration, something, whatever. Yeah, the defaults are stored in, I believe, in the main game directory. There's the default extra data folder, and yeah, and they are new. I think. What did change?
Honestly, I don't remember specifically. I just remember one day I was looking at the default display configurations and I was like, that kind of sucks. I should do better ones. I think that actually in the install I have here, I forgot to reset them. So you're just seeing the old default display configurations.
Yeah, okay, that might be the same.
Yeah, but But in a fresh install of Logic World, you'll see a bunch of better things here when you open up this menu.
And you can generate your own configurations, and if you have some nice ones, tell us that we have to add them.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, next point. Fix new display configurations, sometimes being a grayscale gradient instead of the intended rainbow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so in this, if I want to edit my display configurations, this new one, if I want to add a configuration here, then it's previously this would sometimes be gray and boring, and instead now it's a nice rainbow, so that's better.
Yeah. Next, if a key is hacked to not be bound to an input, it will now display none on its label. This was pretty much kind of a request by Circuit Gamer, who wanted to have nothing on the label, so we added that.
That's true. Does
previous-
anybody have a hack installed where we could demonstrate that?
No.
No. Well, okay, here's a key. It's currently bound to my enter key, so if I hit the enter key, then it will go down. It matches my real life key. And now if you hack this to not be bound to a key,
Circuit Gamer might have uploaded something. I'm currently checking. There's the keyboard.
ooh.
But I don't think the keyboard uses this feature.
Let's see.
Wait, there's none. Yeah, there's none ones. You can put the none thingy. So if you grab that, we have it.
All right, I got it. Let's see this thing.
In many games, if you press escape, you unbind a key, or if you press some other special key. But I mean, for us, oh, that's big.
Yeah.
We just support so many keys that we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
No.
yeah, here are some of those unbound keys that you have to hack the game to show, but now they look pretty instead of looking ugly.
Which is nice. Next point. The text on top of keys is now flush with the surface of the key, so it doesn't float in the air above.
Yeah, look at that. It's right on top.
That does seem to work fine without set buffer fighting. So I assume it's still a little bit elevated.
Yeah, it's like very, very small. It's like 1/10 of a millimeter. It was as small as I could get it before we started seeing visual issues.
Yeah.
The proper
it
way to
looks
do it
perfectly
would be
fine.
to do a custom shader that is ordered above it, but I didn't bother doing that.
Nah, let's not. So what was the next one? Fixed anomalous, whatever, behavior when trying to place an object on the very top of the flag. Oh, you mentioned that earlier. Like when you place something on the flag.
Oh yeah, most people don't know this. Everybody I tell this to is surprised, but you can place stuff on top of flags, like this, and that was a little glitchy before, but it works properly now.
But just one thing. There we go. I can't speak. Okay, next one. Flex will now continue to flap in the wind, uninterrupted, when you change the color. Oh, well, remember this. It would twitch all the time when you change the color of the flag. Like,
Yeah.
the whole movement would reset. It was kind of awful.
Yeah, but you can see now I'm changing the flag color, and the cloth, it just continues to flap instead of resetting.
Oh, yeah. And then we had some problem. We updated the engine a couple of times, and at some point the flags had been rendered as a black texture in the component menu.
Ah, yes.
And by default it's supposed to be something greenish like this one here. Yeah, and that was fixed.
Yep.
And oh yeah, the splash symbol. In the music components we had what was it? splash Simba instead of splash symbol.
Yeah, it was just a typo in one of these instruments here. That we fixed the typo.
One of the many bugs reported to us in the bugs and issues channel on our Discord. Good job, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to the bugs and issues channel of our Discord.
I forgot who reported that, but yeah, that's a fun bug and easy to fix. Just one text file. Fixed label text escaping its bounds in some cases where there's a lot of white space. Blah blah. I called this feature lovely holo text because, like, if you just place the label down and you smash some text on it and then put a bunch of new lines, the text wouldn't get smaller, but instead it would grow outside of the box and float upwards. That was kind of very useful to make funny effects, but that has been fixed, and now the text properly wraps in there.
Yeah.
And you even see ellipses for when it doesn't fit or when the rest doesn't fit.
Yes, I recall you personally being very disappointed when we fixed that bug because you loved making the text float everywhere.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, but it has to be fixed, so. Okay. Fixed a minor UI issue where the shown state of inputs would be incorrect when you start editing a display configuration. Oh, I remember that one. Like when you had an display. Oh, can't really show this.
I will show it, yeah.
In the editor, you see packs under the display, which symbolize the real packs, and the pack was just wrong, the state of them.
Yeah, but it works now.
Yeah. The hint text that shows while sitting in a chair, telling you how to leave it, the chair is now localized. What was it before?
Oh, that's
English?
true. Yeah, it was just hard-coded as English, press escape to exit chair, but now that can change depending on what your game language is set to.
I thought it was Canadian or something. Also, the hint now shows the correct key if you change something if you change it to something other than escape. Yeah, okay, nice. Also, the shadow. Indeed, there's shadow. I didn't notice that.
I don't know if it shows up on YouTube, but there's a very small dark shadow under the text, which makes it easier to read on different backgrounds.
A hint of shadow. We are done with the component section.
Huzzah! We're blazing through this changelog.
Are we? Not really. I just looked. Oh wait, no. Actually, there's a scroll bar for all the other versions as well. Or is this just one version?
Oh, this is
No.
you have the full changelog. So I think we're about halfway through at this point. Oh man, actually less than halfway through. We might have to start going a bit faster.
Yeah, I think a third of the way.
This is a long changelog.
Can someone read better than me? I probably am good with the modding section, but the others.
Well, I can take over a bit. So yeah, we've had music, so graphics. We've added the option for 8,192 by that same amount of shadow maps, like size.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to play at that resolution,
For shadows.
I just turned it on.
shadows.
Look at how crisp these shadows are. That is some crisp shadows.
How's your performance doing?
I'm surprised that it's actually doing fine. I think the main performance issue with the high resolution shadow maps is just the size of the textures in VRAM. So as long as your VRAM isn't filled up, it shouldn't affect your performance very much, at least. Anyways, yeah, if you were always disappointed by how uncrisp Logic World's shadow maps were, then this is the update for you.
Yeah, there's also the option now for 3 shadow cascades when previously only 1, 2, and 4 were possible.
That's true.
Jimmy, what are shadow cascades?
So shadows are stored in a texture, and it doesn't make sense to use like the same scale of texture close to the camera as far away from the camera, because you can just like see less detail far away from the camera. So with shadow cascades, you have multiple textures for shadow maps, and you use they're all the same resolution, but you use a high resolution texture close to the camera and then a low resolution texture far away from the camera, but you don't really notice that it's low resolution in the distance. So it just lets you have crisp looking shadows further away from the camera without compromising performance. I hope that was a decent explanation.
Yeah, that does sound nice. Yeah, there's new anti-aliasing options, namely FXAA and SMAA. And we temporarily removed MSAA. Why did we remove it?
It's broken with the outline, so we haven't got there yet, but we changed the tech behind the outlines. We're using a third-party asset called Linework, which is really good, and Linework currently doesn't work with MSAA anti-aliasing. So until the Linework people fix it, or the one guy who makes Linework fixes it, we had to remove it from the game, but hopefully it comes back soon.
Even after the latest updates of Linework?
That's correct.
Okay.
Right. Then there's also a setting now for turning on motion blur, though it's disabled by default.
Oh, it's new?
Sorry?
Is that new? I didn't know it was new.
Yeah, we didn't have it before this update.
Oh, okay.
We also made some tweaks to bloom and ambient occlusion so that the effects are more subtle. And ambient occlusion is also disabled by default now. Text appears physically in the world, so the text on labels, keys, and singers, which means that is affected by lighting in the world. So like you can see shadows on those keys. I believe Jimmy also made a video about that quite recently, showing that off.
I was so excited about it, I just had to make a video.
So a shout out to the YouTube channel, on which you're probably watching this video as well. So you could go back to the older videos and watch more if you want to. Yeah, Shiny Bobby now properly reflects high dynamic range content such as the teleporting visual effect.
Ooh, can we actually show that off? Because that would be kind of awesome.
Sure.
You know, let's go to the world border actually, because that has like static HDR content. Here, let's go to like the world border on the x-axis. Oh wow, I just noticed a bug I've never seen before where the crosshair jumps around when you're really far away from the origin. That's surprising.
That's new. That's new.
I know, I haven't seen that before. All right. Anyways, Iconia, turn on Shiny Bobby and let's watch the HDR content in your reflection.
Oh, yeah.
What
My
happened?
hotbars. Oh, I pressed the wrong button probably.
I see.
Yeah,
I
and also,
intended to.
hold on.
Wait, where's settings? That's whatever.
Oh, there we go. Gahooks has it. So if you hold still, we can now see that the glowing world border is reflected in your beautiful face.
Why am I orange? How?
Oh, that is weird. Your reflection does look orange. Maybe that's just the purple combining with the yellow?
Oh, that might be. Weird.
That's me. Hi.
Wait, why is my name tag not in the reflection?
Name
That's
tags
bad.
are specifically excluded from reflections. My thinking, I guess, was that like the name tags are not a physical presence in the world, but just something that like you as a strange spherical being, you have like an awareness of who people are. They're not like an actual physical thing in the world, so they don't get reflected.
I need
don't know.
a feature that turns the Bobby mouth upside down.
Yeah. Well,
Upset Bobby.
anyways, prior to this update, things that glowed like this border would not glow when they were reflected inside of a shiny Bobby, and now they still glow in the reflection. So
I really love the sound that this barrier makes. It's a nice buzz.
Thank you. I believe I made that sound effect myself, just from like waves in Audacity or something.
It's so futuristic.
Yeah. Anyways, let's head back to the origin and keep going through the changelog.
Yeah. So we also removed the setting for drawing shadows on additional lights, as that was confusing and unnecessary, as there are no additional lights in the game currently. And there's also a new settings preview image for the bloom setting in the settings menu.
Oh, I want to show that. I think it looks great. I worked hard on it. Look at that. See that image showing what it looks like off and on? That's pretty cool, right? Okay, that's all.
Right, onto graphics APIs. So Vulkan is now the default graphics API on Linux, which gives a substantial performance increase, and all the stability issues should be fixed now. If you still need to use OpenGL, it's available by passing the command line argument --force -gl core. You can set that in Steam, for example.
I don't recommend this though, because outlines will be very laggy then. For me at least.
Yeah.
And we also... Go ahead, Jimmy.
Vulkan's just way better on Linux, and I'm glad we're finally done with Linux players using OpenGL. Like, performance and stability is just going to be so much better on the native Linux version now.
Yeah. We also removed support for OpenGL on Windows. The only backends on Windows are now Direct3D 11, which is the default, and also Vulkan, which can be enabled by passing --force -Vulkan as a command line argument, similar to as on Linux. Yeah, onto outlines. So the outline or the outline visuals have been overhauled, which now look much crisper and are of higher quality. We adjusted the layering of outlines to improve clarity in situations where many objects are outlined. We added setting.
That's true. So I want to note on the new outline visuals, like I mentioned earlier, these are by a asset called Linework by Alexander Emeyer or something. I don't remember his name. Anyways, the outlines do look really good. They use a really cool technique called the jump flood algorithm to just draw really good looking outlines. As for the outline layering, so I believe that has to do with when you have some things that are invalid and some things that are valid. So if I move these two inverters and like one of them is invalid but one of them is valid, you can see both the invalid and the valid outline are fully visible, whereas before they would sort of combine into one outline that was less clear. So that's a little bit better.
Right. There's also settings now for having a different outline intensity, where the object being outlined is obscured.
That's true. Let me demonstrate that. So I'll turn it on, and now if I, let's see, if I look at this, what's a good example? At this board, for example, you can see the outline here along the edges is really like dark, and then the outline towards the back is like less dark, which can be nice. And this feature doesn't work properly on Windows on DirectX 11, and that's why I'm playing in Vulkan, so that I could show off this feature.
Wait, you're on Windows?
I'm on Windows right now, yeah. Unfortunately. I don't like Windows.
Yeah, speaking of not liking stuff, if you don't like any of the outline colors, you can also change them in the settings menu.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Let's look down here and show that off. I can make this one purple, so now when I look at components, it looks purple instead of white. Neat.
Nice.
And we also removed the settings for outline fill, which might come back later, and outline corners, which is meaningless for the new system. We also fixed many cases where outlines were incorrect, missing, or flickering. And there's a new secret setting called MSG secret outline no world meshing, which reverts in new outline optimization in case there's any issues.
Oh, that is an old one. I remember that.
Yeah, that was from like a year ago.
I totally forget about some of these changes because they're so old.
I know, it's fun going through them again.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for reading, Gahooks. Why don't we take a break here because it looks like Felipe has something to show us.
Yeah, I made it. The
Amazing.
thing- yeah, I mean it's like huge and ugly and rat's nets in below, but if you don't look at it, it's pretty cool.
We click
Cool.
buttons and don't judge.
Yep.
I have never played this game before. I feel like I could get really obsessed with this. It's just been hours and hours clicking the buttons and trying to... Oh, shit. Did we do it? Oh, no, there's two more. There's two more.
Yeah, the real game has like a ton of squares and like different shapes and things.
Oh, man. So my first instinct is that I'd want to like push it towards the corners and then get it in the corners. Oh, man. This is hard, man. Felipe, do you know how to do these puzzles?
I mean, I basically just learned how to do it while I was building it, so you kind of, yeah.
Okay, let's see you solve it then.
I mean, it's like my algorithm is like terrible probably, but I don't know, it's kind of press a button until it's okay.
The problem is that you sometimes have to add pixels to get rid of others.
So close.
I don't know, making it worse. I just kind of press button and sometimes it works.
It's a good algorithm. You know what you should do with this this board that you made, by the way?
What should I do?
You should upload it to the Logic World Creation Hub.
Oh man, you're right.
I solved that.
Oh shoot. Nice work, Gahooks. I totally missed it because I was experiencing a bug where I was stuck zoomed in even though I thought we fixed that.
Oh no.
Wait. Oh no.
I know.
Please no.
I'll
Not again.
I'll have to review the footage. I have no idea how I triggered it. I can't get it to happen again. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a long video. We changed a lot of stuff in this update.
Mm-hmm. I mean, condensed the changelog of 19 months.
Yeah. I guess I'll take another section then. The next section is simulation speed. So we improved the client-side performance and fixed a memory leak when the simulation speed is very high. I don't think this was me. Does anybody remember what that meant exactly?
Yeah. That's also over a year ago. I remember this. Yeah, okay. When the simulation speed is very high, a lot of simulation changes get sent to the client. And like almost all states in the whole world change if you have big networks and things. And the client has some lists which have to hold all these updates which the server sent. And that is not entirely efficient. So these lists, I believe it was 4 of them, or dictionaries, double in size to expand or something along the line, which means we had memory increase rapidly and extremely, which was the memory leak. It wasn't exactly a memory leak, but these lists grew so large that the game wasn't able to function. And I'm hearing myself from some of you, one of you, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, we fixed that somehow.
Hooray. Okay, the next one is you can now pause, resume, and step the simulation using keyboard shortcuts while the UI is hidden. not much else to say about that, except that, somebody requested that. I forget who it was, but shout out to the person who requested that feature.
We can open the ticket. Logic World issue tracker game, and then I click something and replace the number, and it says David.
Oh yes, shout out to David who requested that feature. We made many aesthetic tweaks to the simulation speed menu. So this thing right here looked a lot worse previously. Now it's nicer. And notably, I just talked about this in another video, but we changed this icon up here to be more clear. Previously, it used pause and play icons in a way that was very confusing, but now we have a snowflake for frozen and like a spinning little thing to indicate the simulation's running. That's neat. We added a secret setting to control the spin rate of this thing here. So let's see, I could...
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that. Is it? Oh, this triangle thing makes me look like it's always off center. Is it? Why does this thing look off center?
Oh shoot, I have the wrong file open. Okay, I can't actually show off that feature right now, but whatever. You'll have to take my word for it that there's a secret setting that'll make this spin way faster. Okay, and that's everything for the simulation speed section. Next, on to the hotbar. I'll do this one too. The hotbar is now hidden while you're grabbing or cloning something. So previously the hotbar would still be shown if I was like doing this, but that was kind of confusing because you can't interact with the hotbar while you're grabbing or cloning, so now it's hidden. Pressing a number key that is higher than the number of items in the hotbar will now select the last item in the hotbar instead of doing nothing. So if I remove stuff from my hotbar and get down to just a few, now if I press the number 9 key, it will select the last spot instead of doing nothing.
That was amazing. I was reading the hotbar code for some reason,
Yeah.
and while reviewing the code, I found about 5 ways to crash the game.
Oh my goodness.
We fixed them.
I am so glad. Yeah, this update really just massively improves the stability of the game. Like, it was so buggy beforehand by comparison. We made major improvements to scroll input handling for scrolling through the hotbar in environments where scroll input is not discrete. So that, by which I mean, like, the operating system doesn't say, hey, there's another scroll tick, and then a few seconds later it says, here's another scroll tick. It gives, like, you a continuous, like, oh, we've scrolled by 1 millimeter, and then now we've scrolled by 2 more millimeters, and now we've scrolled by another millimeter. So, like, we handle scrolls much better in that case. In particular, that makes scrolling the hotbar a lot better while you're using a touchpad, like on a laptop or a device like the Steam Deck. Next, and you can also use horizontal scrolling on touchpads by default to change your selected hotbar slot instead of just vertical scrolling. So on devices with horizontal scrolling, that's more intuitive because, you know, you are moving the selected thing horizontally. We fixed being able to hover over and interact with hotbar items while the chat window is open. So if I have this chat window open, I can't, like, click on the hotbar items anymore, which was weird. And we fixed being able to hover over the hotbar item in between areas while not dragging a hotbar item. So, if you're dragging a hotbar item, you can, like, go in between a thing to insert it, like that. And previously, if you just put your mouse there while not holding something, it would also, like, make it expand. It was very weird. So we changed that. Okay, the next section is the upload menu. Felipe, would you like to read this section since you did a lot of work on upload and download this update?
Yeah, sure. First of all, we improved the layout of the upload menu to make sure it handled like both sub-assemblies and walls, since we are at both now.
Yeah.
1 second.
I'm looking at it right now. I think we also like just tweaked where text was and stuff. I don't remember, but I think it looked slightly worse in the last update, and now it looks nice.
Yeah. And we also made it so that pressing the cancel button during an upload no longer closed the upload menu, so that you could try again. And also the pressing the back keybind, which by default is escape during an upload, now cancels the upload and closes the menu. Also, if an error occurs during an upload, the error will now be shown on screen along with a retry button in case it's a temporary error.
Yeah,
Just
I
try
wish I
again.
could show that off, but our code is so good and bug-free that no errors will happen for us.
What a shame.
I believe I revoked the uploading and the downloading menu at some point, just to make the UI a little bit better. One of them was significantly worse than the other, so I fixed it up.
Yeah. And we also fixed broken text on the cancel button while a download is in progress. And as well as removing the button to go to your single player sandbox after a successful download. And finally, for the upload menu, we added a character limit to the download URL text box, and we also made it a little bit wider.
Nice. Yeah, there were a whole bunch of little changes to UI in this update. Everything just feels a little bit more polished, and those are some examples of that. Yeah, I'm reading through the next parts of the changelog, and it's all like a whole bunch of like very small changes to the user interface. I don't know if we need to read all of them individually. Maybe people can just read that on the blog or something.
Yeah, basically the UI is better.
Yeah, we made it better. Okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead. Yeah, again, if you want the actual full details, I think there's too much to go over in this video, I've realized. So you can read that again in the in-game changelog tab, or on our blog. The link will be in the video description. But I will say for the multiplayer settings avatar preview, oh, there's some visual glitchiness on it, I just noticed, that I'll need to fix. But we made some fixes to that, like the light source is now aligned with where the sun comes from. That's better. Input for your controls. Now some of these keys use symbols instead of text. So like the arrow keys here show actual arrows instead of just saying the words up, down, left, right. That's better. And on Mac OS, where you have like the command option and what's the other one? Control keys that use symbols in most Mac OS applications, we use those symbols now as well. That's a bit better. Okay, you know what? I think let's skip ahead to the saving and backups section, because I think that's the next one where we have interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So at one point, there was like two main issues with the backup system that we had in place. One problem was that if you if you told the server to create one backup every, say, 15 minutes, and you would only play for like 10 minutes, then you would actually never end up getting this backup made, because the timer would reset, or it would start when you started playing. And then when you left the server, because you like closed your single player world, this timer would then not save and does effectively reset when you like reopen the game. So long story short, no backup would ever have been made if you never played for this full 15 minutes of time. And this is fixed now because we now saved the backup timer. So no matter how short of a time you play, you should always get a backup eventually. And the second issue was that somebody's server got griefed. Shout out to that person. So we wanted to have like a smarter backup system, in the sense that we keep more recent backups and also a couple really old ones. So if you now play for a long time, you will see that with the default settings, you will get some backups that are like more than a week old. So if you notice some kind of corruption or someone did something to grief your server, then you can still roll back quite some time. And this is based on playtime as well, so it shouldn't create more backups. Well, if people don't play for a long period of time, then that shouldn't influence the backing up of stuff at all. And yeah, so it should be a lot nicer now, I hope.
Absolutely, yeah. When I saw that, I'm pretty sure it was Hunta Bade's server. When I saw that it had been griefed and they didn't have a backup,
Indeed.
I felt so bad, because like, you know, obviously you don't want somebody to invest tons of time into your game and then just lose all of it. And especially because I had like went out of my way to code a backup system to prevent against this exact thing. And then it failed. And so I'm really glad that we've improved the system. And thanks, Gahooks, for all your fantastic work making that happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully that kind of disaster does not happen again to anybody who plays Logic World.
Yeah, we also shortened some backup paths, because there's certain operating systems that apparently impose a path limit on files, which is crazy these days, namely Windows. And we can't really assume that people would change registry entries to remove that restriction. Plus, you never know what kind of issues that brings, as it's not the default for a reason, most likely. And while reworking the code, we also noticed that backups could actually be corrupt in like one crazy edge case where you would create an autosave exactly in the same moment where you would create a backup, which is also fixed now. Though it was never reported, so likely nobody ran into that. I mean, yeah, in any case, it's fixed now, so hooray backups.
Hooray backups.
Hooray.
All right. The next section is online. Felipe, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So previously, if you've been keeping up with the Logic World Wednesdays, you might know we were using a gRPC API to communicate with our cloud services for logging in and all that kind of stuff. But when migrating to the new Rails codebase, I realized that maybe gRPC doesn't make sense because we don't really need to keep a connection open all the time because you're not really doing anything with it most of the time. So now we move to a new HTTP based API where it is the usual, you make a request and you get a response and that's it. You're not keeping a connection open. So that's basically it. And then we also changed how the Logic World / protocol works to make it a bit more explicit. So now instead of just passing it a random ID, we also pass like open this creation and then we give it the ID of the creation that you wanna open. And then along with the move to HTTP API, we also added a couple secret settings to the client and the server in case you wanna, for some reason, use like a different implementation of our services instead of the official ones. And this will mostly be useful when one day Logic World dies a peaceful death and we shut down the online services. You can still change this setting and use a different server and keep working with the online stuff.
Cool changes. Yeah, Felipe, there's been a lot of changes to our online services. You actually rewrote it from scratch, as you mentioned, in Ruby on Rails. And I'm glad we're finally getting the update out that takes advantage of the new APIs you've designed and everything. And I'm excited about what kind of online features we can add in the future.
Yeah, I'm also really excited to add new cool stuff that people can use to, connect with each other.
Right on. Our next section is modding. And Akonia, you did most of the work in this section. Would you like to go through it?
Yeah, sure. Let's start off with something that Jimmy made. The dynamic prefab and placing rules. Wait, was it? Reworked how dynamic prefabs and placing rules are defined in game data and implemented in code. The old system, I believe it wasn't as dynamic as it is now, and you couldn't define everything with code properly, and now it's like a very nice system. Yeah. It's nicer. And every mod was broken and had to update. Great. Okay, that's not important.
Yeah, I don't know what there is to say about that within the scope of this video. You'd have to get pretty technical.
Most of the modding changes can be summed up. This is nice, and all mods broke, and they had to update. Yeah, we added some feature to fancy input so that we can add new build actions to the game, because previously that was broken. And then I made a custom display which had tons of outlines, and many outlines means less of FPS, so I added a should be outlined property, which lets you not outline certain faces in the component. And one of the recent thing was Logic World Glass, which is the glass component, which wasn't able to behave like a real board. So I added circuit board-like components so that we can have the Logic World Glass being a board, a proper one. We updated the compilation language level. So now, fun fact, in Unity we have to use, I believe it's C# 9 or 11 to compile our mods, our game code on the client. Mods can use C# version 13, which is newer. So your mods are newer, use newer C# than the game's code. Great.
I'm so jealous of the mods. I want to use new C# features.
Yeah, I miss them. Like, for example, namespaces. You can just put a column. You don't need the block for namespaces anymore. That's
record types
nice
would also
one.
be beautiful.
Mm.
Oh well, one day.
A bunch of error messages got improved regarding mod loading. There's like one problem still with the manifest file has weird text, whatever. Oh yeah, and another big one was that we now have line numbers and stack traces. That was, for the most part, you're like, okay, there's a problem, but I don't know where it is. I know which file, but which line? And now we have line numbers, which is great. Key bindings have been reworked. The whole key binding system. Now it's possible to register key bindings, like, for example, draw a wire into the game without using any hacky means, because the game can do that by itself now. You can just replace the original key binding for drawing wire and put your own. Yay, custom wire placing. Okay, mods are now easily accessible and hackable via the mod registry. And another interesting change, which has not yet been used, is that the client sends the mod version to the server, which means that server mods can now check if the version is new enough or if it has to be updated. Building operations are properly loaded by the game. Game states are properly loaded. That was broken for the longest time. I only fixed that in the last months, like 2 months ago. We now have actual proper support for placing modded components on a server that doesn't support them. Previously, that like when the early access of the game released, we had worlds being corrupted from this, and then Jimmy added a fix, and now it's made properly. By the way, Jimmy, maybe mute yourself because I hear myself.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
it's
I'm wearing
probably also-
headphones.
I don't think that's on Jimmy's end. So I don't
No?
hear you twice.
If I speak a little bit longer. Wait, is it KX? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It might be on your end.
On my end, I doubt it. Then I had a bunch of mods which made modding easier. Like, for example, when you had more components than the server supports, you could see them all in the list, and the game doesn't like when you place modded components somewhere. They would be stay there as ghosts and would go away. And now the game respects that you have more mods installed than the server you play on and hides them from you, which is nice. Oh, fix the modded network packets failing to parse due to inconsistent mod load order. Yeah, if you have two mods that provide packets, and both have the same priority, it's not guaranteed that they load in the same order, because like on the server you might have a different alphabet sorting than on the client, or actually it's the file system which defines the order, and we would have to sort the mods alphabetically to make that work. But now the server sends the list of packets to the client, and the client applies it properly. Which also allows, this system also allows that you have optional packets, which means if you have a server on a mod on the server which is not on the client, that now fully works, and the client could install it or it doesn't have to, which is a nice feature. We have two mods which use that. Client-only mods, like for example theme mods that provide themes, are not announced to the server anymore. I made that primarily to keep the network, the list of mods small. It's still too big, but yeah. Okay, that I mentioned. Improved. The disconnection message now lists all required and the suggested mods, which are the optional mods, with version that was previously just a list and like one big message, and now it's a list of mods, which is much nicer to read. Anything interesting? Yeah, mods no longer are client only and nothing else. That's the only option we had. Mods are either normal mods or client only mods. Now we have a mod type which also provides the optional type and independent type, whatever they mean. You can look that up. But that gives more flexibility to modding. Everything's cool. Nice. So whenever we stumble across, or when the modding community, or I personally as a modder, stumble across a problem with modding in the game, we somehow improve it. And that's what this was. We're done with modding.
Amazing. So many changes to modding. The modders will be happy.
I hope so.
Yeah. You know what? Every single person on the programming team for Logic World actually started out as a modder.
Except you.
Except
Take
for
an example.
myself. Yeah. But all of you who've joined me for this project, like initially started programming mods. So I think that's pretty cool, and I think that it's gonna allow. I think that those perspectives being on the team are gonna like get us to a really good place for modding, where you know what modders need because you were an R1. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Moving on in the changelog. I'm gonna skip over the thumbnails section because it's not that interesting. In the export section, we removed support for OBJ export, and we added the ability to export 3D models for GLTF and GLB, which we use for those super cool 3D previews on the website, like this. Felipe, you added this 3D export. Do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, I added GLTF export because OBJ sucks as a file format. Like, you need one file for the mesh, another file for the materials, and then one file for every texture that you want to have, and you have to upload all of them together, otherwise the model doesn't work, which is a pain in the ass when you're trying to upload it to our website, because you want one file for the model and that's it. And GLTF does allow you to embed everything you want inside a single file, so it was a no-brainer to add it, especially because it's a format that's like meant for this kind of stuff and using it in web environments and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a much nicer format to work with than OBJ.
And just like with the object file, you can import that new file into Blender, and even with textures this time, so it's better.
Yeah.
Love it, yeah. We initially added 3D export in the OBJ file format to help the 3D artist we worked with to make the cover for the Logic World soundtrack, the album cover. And so thankfully we had that like set up and ready to go, and we wanted to add the Subassembly 3D model thing. Although, aside from converting to GLTF, which is a great change. I totally agree. OBJ is one of the most annoying file formats that I've ever worked with.
It's simple, but primitive.
Yeah. Okay, on to the platform section. We now have a native version for Apple Silicon. That's pretty cool. Shout out to people who have Apple Silicon devices. Additionally, MIDI input is now supported on Apple Silicon devices. If you plug your piano into your Mac, you can now play Logic World with a piano on your Mac. That's new. And we fixed links not properly opening in a web browser on some Linux systems. Next section is stability. We significantly improved server performance when cloning or placing objects with large clusters. Previously, this caused players to get stuck until they rejoined. And relatedly, we fixed that when the game tries to send very large network packages, it would corrupt the network state instead of crashing. So these are two related issues where if you had like a very, very big build with like millions of components, and especially if they were all connected together with a bunch of pegs, like a bunch of pegs connected with wires, then the game would not handle that well at all. And very recently, like just a couple of days ago, Iconia implemented the fix for that, and it works better now.
Fun fact, the exact same problem as we had with this thing we had years ago when loading a save on the server. It would also take ages because it was doing weird stuff with the clusters, which was super inefficient. Exact same fix, exact same problem, just the consequences this time had been much more annoying on the network and player side.
Indeed. Yeah, that was just, I think this was before you joined the team, but that was just a total oversight on my part when I implemented that fix, to not also implement it for cloning and just for loading the world in the first place.
Unsure, there's a comment that states that it has to be implemented for cloning.
Oh, really? So I did
Yeah.
notice, I noticed, I just didn't bother to actually implement it. Well,
Probably.
oh goodness. Well, that's a... I'm glad
Nice
we
day,
finally
isn't it?
got to it.
Nice day.
Yeah. Okay, on to technical updates. We upgraded the engine version to Unity 6. Unity is not a pleasant engine to work in, but the 6-year-old version of Unity we were using before was even less pleasant, so it's nice that we're on modern Unity now. We upgraded the server runtime to .NET 9, which gives us about 10% more performance in server-side tasks. We upgraded most of our DLLs to Net Standard 2.1, which is nice. We updated Font Awesome to 6.7.2, which is the thing that gives us all these icons, so we have more icons to work with. And finally, we changed the game's config file format from .succ to .gecs files. So Logic World uses a custom config file format that's now called gecs, and it used to be called suck, that I invented because I was just really unhappy with all the existing solutions for config files. So it's like a very opinionated personal take on what config files should look like. And previously it was called .succ because I wasn't very mature when I started the project. 7 years ago now? Oh my goodness. And so now it's called .gecs, which stands for Jimmy's Epic Config System. Okay, we are nearly to the end of the changelog, finally. We just have this miscellaneous section. Is there anything in this section that's worth reading and talking about?
Let me skim it.
Oh, these ones are kind of interesting. We fixed your own shadow teleporting immediately when the teleport sequence is initiated. Your shadow now teleports at the same instant that you do. And same for reflections. So I could demonstrate that by turning on see your own shadow. Where is that? Here it is. So now I can see my own shadow in the world. And now if I teleport, then you could see my shadow was like still on the ground for as long as the teleport sequence was ongoing, whereas previously the shadow would teleport immediately. So that's a small little detail, but I think it's kind of interesting.
I like the first fix there. It's like when you spawn at the spawn in the world, and then you get teleported to your actual location. And recently I saw the stream of a Logic World player, and I saw how his player joined in the world and then teleported somewhere else, and I was like, you're not on the preview version. You should use the preview version. You're on the main version. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good change.
Yeah.
Man, it's so weird seeing your own shadow in this game because the characters are just circles, so it just looks like a circle that's following you around.
I mean,
that's why it's off by default.
Are you by chance a vampire?
Not that I know of.
Do you have a shadow?
In real life? Let me check.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a shadow in real life.
Okay, good.
I should set a
Just
calendar
making sure.
reminder to... I should set a calendar reminder for myself to check this every so often, just in case I become a vampire and don't notice.
Okay, good. Thanks.
You know what? I think that concludes our read-through of the .92 changelog. Congratulations, everybody.
If you made it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're insane, and I love you.
leave a comment below if you watched all the way to the end of this video for some reason. Yeah. How do you guys feel about the video we just made? Do you think that was good that we did this? Do you think we made something worth watching?
If people are really interested, then they could just listen to that instead of reading through the changelog themselves. So I feel like there's definitely some value to it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you see to the end, you're a true Logic World fan.
Yes. If you're listening to these words, you are a true Logic World fan. You heard it from me, Jimmy.
Unless you skip to the end, then you aren't.
Unless you skip to the end.
You might as well be an air conditioner.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe we should like plan this kind of video out next time. I'm thinking that instead of just reading through the changelog beforehand, we should like make notes on specific things we want to talk about that are interesting or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I had a lot of fun playing with you guys though. Thanks for joining me.
Nice. Jimmy, how much time do you have to fix bugs today?
Not that much time. I gotta catch a train in not too long.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I think I wrote down 3 bugs we found during this play session that I'd really love to fix, so I'll see if I can squeeze in time for that.
Yeah, or we just keep it.
Or
Unless
we
it's
just-
horrible. The changelog thing gotta be fixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we also have this funny bug, like, when I turn off shadow, the shadow stays on the floor, but as a circle.
Oh dear, that's problematic.
Yeah. I don't even want to know how to fix that. That's...
I'll take a look maybe. Alright, well anyways, thank you for watching this video. And we've all worked really hard on this update, and we hope you have a good time playing it. So yeah, bye bye.
Enjoy playing the game.
Bye bye.
Bye.